And just like that, we're back again with the market analysis update for you guys. Thank you so much for everyone that's tuning in. But yeah, let's take a look at what's happening across the board as of Tuesday. So, we're actually closing off Tuesday. It's almost the end of the day, but we're going to take a look at as far as the broader market is concerned in terms of the performance. And again, as you guys know, this is a daily segment on the channel. Again, if you are new to the channel, make sure your bell icon is on so you're notified every time we upload. But looking across the board, as you can see for yourself, we're seeing some coins up, double digits once again. But at the same time, if you're noticing a little bit of a minor pullback for some other altcoins, but we just cannot forget how this week has started. It has started on a positive note, and we're seeing a little bit of a minor pullback for some alts. But again, as of now, 50-50 pretty much across the board. Again, if you're looking at the valuation of the broader market, we're currently sitting just below $3.1 trillion. Again, looking across the board, like I said, we are seeing a little bit of a minor pullback for some altcoins. But before we get into any further, though, as always, just a quick disclaimer, anything on this channel is not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence and research when you are investing in crypto. So the volume for the broader market has gone down. That's sitting at about $147 billion. But let's take a look at this right here. So the fear and greed index is still in the extreme fear category, even though we have seen pretty much the weekend was quite, a nice momentum for the broader market that it brought, obviously. And, as we start off this week, we're seeing that overall momentum pretty much carrying on. But in terms of the market sentiment, and the fear and greed index is pretty much still reflecting extreme fear zone. And that tells you, even though we're seeing a little bit of a move towards the upside for altcoins, we just need to understand and zoom out that the market has gone down substantially, and your market is rebounding from that major correction that we have seen. I know when you look across the board, you're seeing some double-digit gainers. You tend to forget that the market even has seen this type of retracement, but we need to kind of zoom out. And in my case, I always bring out the monthly time frame as well as the weekly time frame. This gives us a bigger picture and makes us really understand what's going on. But let's continue to take a look at what's going on. So as far as the rate cut is concerned, we're sitting at a probability of 85%. So quite a sharp jump for the rate cut to happen. We were literally sitting last week at just 44%, and now you're seeing about an 85% chance that we do see a rate cut. And I think market could be kind of preparing itself for this rate cut. So that's also kind of something we kind of want to factor in. But take a look at this. A huge news: the first U.S. state just put Bitcoin on its balance sheet. Texas just made its first official Bitcoin purchase using public funds, a $10 million allocation into BlackRock's IBIT spot Bitcoin ETF. It's the first time a US state has done this, and it's quietly pushing BTC into a new category, a state level financial asset. It's early and the amount is small, but it's a real shift. Bitcoin adoption isn't just moving through individual and institutions anymore. State treasuries are starting to step into. There we have it. Huge news here. Again, I know a lot of people are going to point out that $10 million is quite small, but it is something. They obviously have introduced this, and now I think over time maybe they do add more, Bitcoin into their allocation and into their balance sheet, which again is very, very big news in my opinion. But let's take a look at what's happening with Bitcoin. As far as the dominance is concerned, we actually saw the dominance, pull down to 58.46%. Again, drop in below where we were back in October. So the dominance is actually seeing quite a sharp retracement, which is nice to see as far as the altcoins are concerned. If you're looking at Bitcoin, on the other hand, Bitcoin ended up retesting none other than the $86,000 key support line once again. And what's really important to keep in mind is that we did not break below the key support line. And we did see the price of Bitcoin rebounding from that key range about 2.25%, which again in Bitcoin standards is not a small move. So Bitcoin is still showing strength right now, in my opinion, because the $86,000, again, a level that we've spoken about it on the channel quite some time now, is playing as a major level of support, as you can see for yourself. And the way Bitcoin has held its ground within the 61.8, specifically above this key support line, is impressive. As far as the $88,500 key resistance is concerned, we actually did not end up retesting that, as you can see see for yourself. We only retested that yesterday, but pretty much, today we did not retest it. But, that is a target to be looking forward to. If this is able to break out, I do personally believe Bitcoin has what it takes to get its, self back into the 0.50 fib zone. And with the way the dominance is currently looking, this is a great sign for altcoins. And I think altcoins could start seeing some excitement with this Bitcoin momentum. Of course, Bitcoin looking great right now. Can't really complain. Specifically, if it's able to, hold above $86,000, I think, I am optimistic, and my target overall for the 0.50 is still in play, which again, from where we currently are itself, is a move of about 5.2%. And again, if we do see a 5.2% increase for Bitcoin, I am expecting dominance to continue to pull down, which I think will give altcoins even more of a room to push. And you could clearly see for yourself, Bitcoin is nowhere near $89,000 as to, where we were the day before yesterday, yet you're still seeing a lot of coins up, and that should really tell you the momentum that we have, for alts right now due to the Bitcoin dominance. Thank you so much for all the love that you guys show. Daily analysis updates, as you guys know, we haven't missed a day. This segment is going to be every single day of the week. Thank you so much for all the love. If you're still here, give yourself a pat on the back, because again, in the grand scheme of things, yes, the market is rebounding, but there is a very low amount of interest still in the crypto space. Love you all. See you later, Urban Crypto ZX, and peace out.